Okay, let's go live. This is James Maduke speaking. Are you over 40 and you're afraid to hit record for the first time? Maybe you've got a little less hair, you've been around for a little while, and you've heard all about this stuff about creating online courses and YouTube videos, but you're just scared. Well, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how being scared is probably a good idea when you're getting started. And more importantly, I'm going to show you, or at least talk to you about why I think your age and my age and our age is a huge advantage when it comes to creating online content, specifically videos and of course online courses. So even if you're just starting out, I think some of the things we'll pick up today, hopefully will be able to help you not only get started, but more importantly, improve what it is that you're doing. So what am I talking about? The reason this came up is because I do a lot of coaching with people who are creating their first course and going through that whole process of documenting what it is they know and do, and they're excited about stuff, but they're often afraid or hesitant to actually do the recording, to create the videos that normally go along with an online course. And I was talking to someone on Friday at the end of last week, and they were talking about the fact that they had a big course that was all set up in their head. And in fact, they had it mapped against a book that they'd written, and they were trying to match the book with the video, and they had a lot of trouble getting started. So we were talking about that, and I was kind of thinking, well, if that person who's a seasoned professional is having trouble getting in front of the camera, I'm sure that there's a lot of other people that are doing that. So what I kind of want to go through is some of the things that I think about and when I got started creating videos. And right now, I think on YouTube, this channel, I think there's 260 or 270 videos. I've done over 1,000 videos in online courses. So I've been doing it for a long time. And when I first started it out, there was no face to it. It was just audio and a whiteboard. So I was kind of hiding myself, and that's how I got started. It's a little bit harder to do. And I think your age now is something that can really help. So here's the first part that I think we have to think about when we're doing that. And it's something that I picked up from, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he was talking about having an unfair advantage when you're creating these videos. And I think when people start out, they're a little bit nervous about, they think about what's my unfair advantage. It's basically because I know or passionate about something. And I don't think that's really what it is. What I think it is your age, because people can't take away your age. It's something that is unique to you and all of the experience that comes along with it. So I really think that your age is your unfair advantage, because you have a whole season of experiences in different situations before the past and where things are going in the future. And that's just a huge bonus. So lean into your age, take advantage of it, don't be afraid of it, and just remember that the people that you're probably trying to help are not the young people that you're trying to impress. So that's kind of the first thing. Don't be afraid of your age, kind of lean into it. The second thing I just want to say when we're doing this is no one is going to see your videos. So don't worry about it. I think, talking about age, one of the things that is great for me personally as I get older is I really care a lot less what people think of what I'm doing. So I get embarrassed a lot less or infrequently compared to what I did, because I just don't care as much about what other people's opinions are. And when you're just starting out, no one's going to see your videos. No one's going to see your online courses. It's something that just doesn't, you do your first one, all of a sudden you're, super popular, everything's going perfectly, just doesn't happen. So no one's going to see them. That's the other thing to think of when you're getting started. The other one I just want to kind of touch on here is when we're creating videos, whether it be for an online course or YouTube videos, whatever it happens to be, I'm going to suggest that you really focus on what it is that you're passionate about. For me personally, I have fun doing these videos now. I do one every day. I try and do one every day. Sometimes I do two a day just because it's fun. And if you get to the part where you can have fun creating videos, I think it opens up a whole new world for you and a whole new world of possibility if you want to actually turn it in to some kind of business. So, your age is much like, fine wine. My wife and I sometimes will go and we'll go to the make your own wine shop, and you can make a whole bunch of bottles of wine for inexpensively, and you let it sit for 30 days or 45 days and you go pick up and bottle your wine. But it's just not the best wine. The better wine is the one that's had a chance to age, a chance that been able to grow. And I think, think of yourself as having that aged wine, that experience, all that flavor and boldness that comes with it. Again, that's something to really consider when you're doing this. Okay. Here's the other thing, kind of the next thing, is when you're creating these videos, so no one cares and you've got your age advantage, I'm saying lean into that. The second thing is that when we're creating videos, especially when we start, I want you to think of this kind of phrase. It's the focus on the value you provide versus how it was provided. And this is real important because I'm going to share a secret with you at the end of this video on how you can really take advantage of that. So what was the value you provided versus how it was provided? And the value comes in your shared experience that you have from your age. And more importantly, it's the way that you can express your content confidently because you've lived it. If you've created a whole bunch of videos, that's one thing. If you haven't created videos, but you've done a whole bunch of things that you're passionate about, whether it be a business skill or a personal skill or a craft or lifestyle, it doesn't really matter what it is, but you've had the chance to do that. So you have the experience to share. And that's where confidence comes in because you've actually done it and you're able to communicate that. So that's the first thing, value provided versus how it was provided. So just focus on the content and your confidence. The second thing is a lot of people struggle at the start with thinking they've got to have this big fancy studio set up. And all I'm suggesting is when you first do this, start really, really simple. Keep it as simple as possible. Start with your phone. Talk into the phone. That's the easiest way to get doing. And as you get going at this, figure out what you like doing or the way that you like creating it, not how it was provided, but the way you like creating it and what works for you. And you're going to be able to find that these simple tools are more than enough to get started about. So value provided versus how it's provided, really, really important. What's the next thing I just want to kind of touch on when you're thinking about this is, excuse me, is you're thinking about what am I going to talk about or how am I going to talk about it? And the easiest thing to do is obviously talk about what you know. When I get started doing these videos, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll do some research. I'll use ChatGPT and Claude and some of the other tools to research or round out the messaging. But at the end of the day, I'm asking or prompting these tools to round out something that I already know. So if you're going to create these videos, especially at the start, is just talk about what it is that you know. And when you're thinking about what it is that you know, there's a couple different ways that you can do this and ways that it actually makes things really, really easy. You talk about what you know is one approach. The other one is to talk about what you think. So this gets into this whole idea of being an observational video creator as opposed to a confrontational video creator or course creator. It's one thing to, if you're confrontational, you want to raise a stink, you're confident doing that, that's one thing. The easiest thing to do is when you're first starting out is to be observational and apply your experience to those observations of what other people are doing. So what you know, talk about that, and then what you think, and just observe what other people are doing. And the next thing I want you to consider is if you're really, really scared getting started and you're not quite there, ready to go, the easiest way to feel comfortable is if you collaborate with other people. And what does that mean? It means not just being you in front of the camera, but it can be you interviewing or talking to someone else, whether that be someone who is in the same business or complements or friend. anyone that you can talk to takes a lot of pressure off because it becomes a discussion. And there's still a whole bunch of room for entertainment and information sharing or teaching online when you are just collaborating. And going back to speaking about Friday, when I was talking about the person that I was working with creating their course, and they had a couple things that were blocking them. So I'm just going to kind of talk about blocks that come up for me and I want you to consider. Here's the first one. I recently became a grandfather, and one of the things that Heather, my wife, and I have been doing is a lot of times grandson's in a different city, so we might kind of record a video and then send the video, right? Because we don't get to be there all the time. One of the things when you talk and actually record a video, what a lot of people do when they're starting out, and this is a skill, when you're starting messy, this is a skill to pick up on. When you're recording yourself, you're not focusing on yourself doing the recording. A lot of people, when they first record, they actually look at the screen when they're actually recording and they're talking to themselves. If you can make a simple switch about talking to the camera, look at the camera, don't look at the screen, look at the camera, you're going to find that you can actually talk or converse with someone or share what it is because you're not looking at your face, the way you look, the way you sound, the way you move. You're focusing directly in on the camera. So feeling authentic, if you look into the camera, you're going to find that you can zone out the rest of you, and that makes a lot more sense in the way that you deliver material because it is far more authentic. The other challenge that I think a lot of people run into, and this is something that my client ran into when we're making these, is you may be an introvert, but you still have a little bit of an extrovert in you, right? And you're thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go and record, everything's cool. So you're going out there, you're trying to go and be outgoing and excited and passionate about what it is, but there's a part of you that kind of always holds you back. And there's always going to be a struggle with this. It's not something that you can necessarily get away with except with practice. And what am I talking about with practice? I use the analogy of like an elastic band, right? If you start out with an elastic band and you stretch it just a little bit, it will never go back to where it was before. So the whole idea in this is you just got to keep on stretching. And doesn't mean you have to stretch the whole way the first time. It's just a little bit at a time, And if you get into the habit of being able to talk to yourself and more importantly, just focus a little bit on the message that you're getting across, not how it's delivered, that's going to be a big game changer for you. And I want you to think of it this way. It's like the perspective that you look at when you're creating videos. A lot of people, when they first start, they think about the beginning and the end. So what they think is, okay, I'm starting here and I have to get perfect. I have to have the perfectly polished video. I have to be an expert in front of the camera. I have to look great. I have to have a proper set. Everything has to be perfect. So they look at where they are and then they look at where they think they should be and they don't see anything in the middle. And I think starting messy or focusing on the part in the middle will keep you more honest with yourself as to where you are in that process. There's always going to be a beginning. There's always going to be an end. The growth or the stretching comes in the middle. And if you can just get started and pull it a little bit, just stretch a little bit, you're going to find that there's a lot of fun to be had moving through this. So start messy, absolutely start messy and focus on the middle, not on the end. Now I said how long have I been going here? I said 14 minutes already. I just love doing this stuff and I have a lot of fun, and I'm going to share with you the biggest kind of tip that I learned about following all this and starting messy. And this is something that, this is the only way I create videos right now, and I'm going to suggest that you do it as well. I think you should only, or 90% of the time, I won't say only because that's a little bit of a stretch, but what I try and do is I only do live streams now. I only do live streams. And the reason that I only do live streams, there's a couple reasons. One is I think well, here's the big one. It saves a whole bunch of time and money. If you're going to be doing videos, again, especially if you're creating courses, one of the things that happens when you create an online course is you always have the course you planned for, or the video you planned for, the video you created, and the video that you thought you should have done. And you end up spending a whole bunch of time, energy, and effort trying to make it perfect with the end in mind. And at the end of the day, you've created a video and spent a whole bunch of time, and it's never going to be perfect. So owning the fact that it's never going to be perfect, live streaming makes a lot of sense. If you can put together your platform, or at least the message that you want to get across, and start by doing that, you're going to find that the more you do it, the easier it gets in order to communicate it. And it's a conversation, not a video presentation. And I think if you're teaching online, if you want to share your passion, your ability to have a conversation with the camera or the other guests that you have, that's where the real value is in your ability to own that with your age, because you can share all of those experiences. So have a content strategy. Think about what it is that you want to share and why you want to share it with the people you want to share it, and just get into the habit of doing live streams. So that's the easy way to get started. Doing live streams, just recording stuff that you've got. And some people start with a video script. Personally, I just talk about some bullet points. Right now I have a list of my mind map up in front of me, in front of the screen. I'm looking at my little teleprompter that gives me the list of points, and I'm basically just going through the points that I laid out in a bit of step by step, and I'm just talking about the particular points. It's not something that's overly scripted. That's the way I do it. But if you need to have more of a script, don't be afraid to read from it at the start and get comfortable with it. And they're going to be really bad at the start. And you know what? Do the live stream. Don't edit it. And you can always turn it off. If you're going live on YouTube as an example, you can always unlist it or make it private after if it was really, really bad or you're really uncomfortable with it. And the best part is because you're just starting out, no one's going to see it anyway. Even on this YouTube channel right now, if I go take a look, I've got some videos, 400 views, 500 views. I've been pumping them out. I'm not, as much I would like a whole bunch more subscribers, I'm doing these live streams because I'm having fun doing them. And I've always got something to talk about because I've got my age and 60 some years, all of this experience to share. So I find it easy to put them out, but if you're afraid to get started, don't be afraid to make some mistakes, and live streaming is the easiest way to do that. Live streaming is a super easy and fast way to make mistakes. So start messy, get in there, get involved, and play around with it. The other thing is when you're looking at your age and live streaming and how you're going to start, is to have a little bit of list of things that you want to talk about. And again, when you're starting out, a lot of times you're talking about stuff that you know, but what's going to happen is you're going to find out that people are going to have questions or things that are important to them, and you'll be able to apply your experience and your age, being able to share that with the questions that come up. And the best part, again, about using your age for live streaming is that if you've been around for a while, you know most of the questions people ask because you've lived that. So put a content schedule together, or at least some bullet points as to what you think you want to cover that are questions that you can answer for the people that you're trying to talk to. And that content strategy as well keeps you focused on what your channel is about or what the course is about when you're playing around with that. So hit record, do live streams. If you need to find out about some of the tools to do live streams, it's really inexpensive. You can do it with your smartphone. And if you have a piece of paper in front of you with some notes, something that you can do to talk to the camera, have a little bit of a chat, and at least get started, you're going to be amazed and delighted at how fun it is, and more importantly, how you can create a community of people who are wanting to know and do the exact same thing that you've been doing for maybe a long time right now. So thanks for watching. If you want to find out a little bit more about all of the stuff that's involved in this, how I'm doing it, make sure to visit teachonline.io or trainingsites.io. Join the community. It's free to join. Ask questions, talk about creating these online videos, creating online courses, some of the technology involved, and how to build your own community or membership site. So hope you enjoyed this. My name is James. It's trainingsites.io, where we show you how to start, build, and grow your education business. Take care. Expect the best.